Hello and welcome back to On The Rocks. Hope you're all doing well today and looking forward to today's episode, as it's going to be a short one today because of a few little reasons. But today we have the Champions League group stage draw as well as a Scottish Premiership game against Dunfermline. Now the reason today's episode is going to be a little bit shorter is because today is Tuesday and today is the first game that I'm actually going to be doing commentary for Lincoln City in real life. So I've got to get this all done and sorted before I'm heading over to Central Bank later on this evening. So very excited. Who'd have thought it, hey? You do enough commentary on fake football games, you might actually get a go at doing some real football games. So that is very exciting. I'm really looking forward to it. It's like a bit of a dream commentating on Lincoln City, the team I support. So very happy with that. Another reason though why today's episode is going to be shorter than usual is because YouTube is messing around massively at the moment. It takes a little while for videos to be uploaded. And then once they're uploaded, YouTube as a platform's got to process them to make sure you can watch it in full HD. I don't quite understand it, but it's how YouTube works. Processing normally takes about 10-15 minutes at the very most for me. Until this past week or two, when it's literally taking hours. Yesterday's video, I uploaded it at about 1:30, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. By 8 o'clock when it came out, it still hadn't finished processing, which meant it was out in 360p, not full HD. And it's doing this quite a lot. It's why uploads have been a little bit slower the past few weeks or so. I'm not entirely sure why. It seems to be a bit of a platform-wide thing, but it's really annoying, particularly when I upload daily and normally it's uploading in the same day, and if it's going to take 6 hours plus to process, then it's just not working. It's not great. So I'm trying to make the videos a little bit shorter at the moment to see if that helps or not. Anyway, to try and distract ourselves from the bad news of YouTube processing, today we have some good news. Not only are we in the Champions League group stage draw, but all 6 Scottish teams have made it through to the group stage of European football. To be fair though, 5 teams didn't actually have to do anything. Last season we were in 5th place in the European coefficient rankings, which meant that we got 2 group stage places for the Champions League and then 1 place for the league path. But I'm a little bit confused because if you go back to Rangers, who finished 3rd last season, they've not had to go through any qualifying rounds at all, which makes me think they're just straight into the group stage as well as us and Celtic. So a little confused about that. We also get the 2 teams that qualified for the Europa League straight into the Europa League, and then the 1 team that goes to the Europa Conference League goes into the playoff round. Now last season we actually finished behind France in coefficient points, so this upcoming season we do drop down to only having 1 team in the Europa League and 2 teams in the Europa Conference League, so we need to make the most of this season with 2 teams in the Europa League. So based on that, Hibs were the only team that had to qualify to get into European football, and they managed to beat Djurgårdens to get through into the group stage of the Europa Conference League. So it's a little complicated as to how we've all got here. And maybe it's not, I don't know. I find it complicated sometimes thinking about all the coefficient points and what it all means. But to my understanding, we're all in group stages. And speaking of the group stage of European competitions, this week we're back with European football in real life, which is very exciting. And you can follow all of the action for that on the One Football app, the best football app out there to keep up to date with all of the latest football news, scores and updates from around the world. You can follow the Champions League, the Europa League, the Europa Conference League, and get a full rundown of all the games going on and all the results as they come through. So you can keep up to date with Malmo in the Champions League, for example, or Lincoln Red Imps in the Europa Conference League. Downloading the app from the top line of the description really helps me and the channel out, so I'd massively appreciate it if you could do so for absolutely free from the top line of the description. So let's get into this Champions League draw then. Let's view the draw. We are, of course, a first seeded team because we have the highest coefficient points over the past 5 years out of all of the teams in it, which is fantastic. Annoyingly though, Barcelona did beat us in the final last season, which is why they have a little asterisk next to their name there to denote that they won it last season. So let's draw these first teams. We've got PSV in Group A, Juventus in Group B, Dortmund in Group C, Chelsea Group D, PSG in Group E, Aberdeen in Group F, Milan in Group G, and then Barcelona in Group H. The second seeded teams are actually a bit difficult, I must say. We've got Man United, Bayern Munich, Atletico Madrid and Napoli behind me, and then obviously you can see Madrid, Villarreal, Tottenham and Inter. Who do we want? I don't really mind too much, although I wouldn't really want Man United. They go into a group with PSG. We get Villarreal, which is actually probably the kindest draw we could have been given out of all of those teams. Maybe Napoli because they're not brilliant, Villarreal had a decent run in recent years, but the other teams are all better in my opinion, so actually we've done very well to avoid them there. In terms of third seeded teams, both Celtic and Rangers are in here, so Rangers didn't have to go through any qualifying rounds. I'm a little bit confused by that. It wasn't Celtic who came third last season, was it? No, they didn't. Neither Celtic or Rangers going through qualifying rounds. I don't quite know why or understand that, but you love to see it. Interestingly, behind me, it's Man City who are a third seeded team alongside Celtic, Porto and Benfica right behind me. On the other side of the screen, Hoffenheim, Rangers, Slavia Prague and Young Boys. I don't really want Man City because they're probably still quite good even though they are a third seeded team. We can't get Celtic or Rangers. So as long as we just avoid Man City, I think I'd be quite happy with anyone in that sort of sphere of groups. Porto going to Group A, Slavia Prague into Group B, Young Boys into C, Celtic into D, and I reckon they could do a job in that, you know. I reckon they could give Napoli a run for their money. Rangers into Group E, goodbye Rangers, although they have beaten PSG in recent years, or was that Celtic? It's a tough group for Rangers, but we'll find out how they get on in that one. Man City into Group F, the one team we wanted to avoid are in our group. That's not ideal for us as Benfica and Hoffenheim go into Group G and H. And in terms of fourth seeded teams, Zenit, Molde, Besiktas, Club Brugge, Partizan, Basel, Wolfsburg and Montpellier. I wouldn't mind getting Montpellier because that's a French team, and if we can knock Montpellier out of the Champions League, that would be superb. As Club Brugge go into Group A, Besiktas into B, Partizan into C, Montpellier into D, that's a little bit annoying, Molde into E, Wolfsburg into F, okay, and then Basel into G. Now looking at this, before we get off the screen, this is probably the easiest place to analyse what countries are in here. So we've got 3 Scottish teams, great. Interestingly, only 2 French teams in Montpellier and PSG. And there's potential for both Montpellier and PSG to get knocked out of the group stage here. In terms of German and Italian clubs, Italy have got 4 because of course they get 4 automatically, so do Germany. So we know that. Germany and Italy both with 4, we've got 3, France with 2. Okay, interesting. We'll take that. I will show you the Europa League and the Europa Conference League draws as well shortly, but they don't take place for another couple of days yet. So we'll go into this Dunfermline game and we will play a rotated lineup for it. Since you were last here for the transfer special where we signed 1 player, not so special was it? We have played lots of friendlies and we started off the league season with plenty of wins. A 6-0 win against Kilmarnock on the opening day was great. A 1-0 win against Rangers was superb as well before we battered Dundee United 10-0 in the Betfred Cup second round. A great result that one before beating Hibs 4-0 in the league. So obviously, as you would expect, we are top of the table as it stands. But we are joint top with Livingston, who have had a very good start to the season so far. Having a great start, and hopefully for them they keep it up for a long time. Rangers only winning me 2 games so far, and Celtic also slipping up. I'm sure they'll rectify that very quickly and get themselves back into the top 3. But it's good to see Livingston and Motherwell ahead of both Celtic and Rangers right now. We are approaching deadline day as well. We've had so many bids come in for so many of our players. It's just stupid the amount that come through. I'm not accepting any of them because I don't want to sell them. To the point now where I decided to keep La Cruz, right? We're going to reject these bids for Sandro, by the way. They are quite big bids, but we are going to reject them. Now, you remember last episode when we were about to sell La Cruz, but then we couldn't get the guy we wanted, so we said we keep La Cruz instead. Turns out that really annoyed him. La Cruz is now announcing his intention to leave at the end of the season on a free. I didn't actually realise it was his final year of his contract. So, whatever happens, we need to try and sell La Cruz before we get... maybe actually the end of his transfer window. Maybe. I'm going to say January, but actually maybe it's his transfer window we try to sell him. Because I'd rather get some money for him than no money at all for a guy that's going to be backup for us most of this season. The issue is I just don't think anyone's going to want to buy him now. I think they'll wait until January to get him on a free. At least that's what I would do. But we are going to put him in the shop window by starting him in today's game as we play a very rotated lineup for the game against Dunfermline. But gives us a chance to have a look at some of the fringe players in the team. And Lassielian is now counted as a fringe player, given he's not the best right winger at the club anymore, which is mental. Marcelo Gilt starts in goal with a backline of Ishmael. I still can't work out how to say this guy's name yet. It's going to be difficult, but maybe we'll get there at some point. He starts at left back today, the new signing, alongside Ad Nilsson, Tig McLumper and Reyes de Souza, who came in, of course, last season around January time Made 5 appearances, didn't really do much to be fair, but this season want to give him more of a run. Medina and St John Stone, or Stone St John, sorry, in the centre of the field. Le Cruz and Lassielian are on the wings, and then the Greek man with the greatest name in the world, Vangelis Alexandris, starts in the centre of the attacking midfield as the shadow striker, with Evie Cathdy Fothera, who's had some big bids come in this summer, £20 million plus for him. We rejected them all, leads the line. So as kickoff is upon us here today, this should be a very routine win for us. Dunfermline are no longer a decent, well, never were a decent team, were they? Unless you're a Dunfermline fan, but of course you always have been a decent team. But the main aim this season is of course to win that Champions League. We need another trophy. We've lost 2 finals. We've won 1 obviously, but we've lost 2 finals now, and that's not a good ratio. We need to have won at least 50% of the finals that we've been to. So the main aim this season is to win the Champions League. I think the league in itself now is probably solid enough to take the French on head-to-head and get ahead of them in coefficient rankings. And I think this season, as Medina scores an incredible goal, I think this season is the year we might be able to sneak into 3rd place if Celtic and Rangers pull their weight in the Champions League and we get some other teams in the lower competitions doing a good job, which I think they can do because they've all recruited well over summer. Of course, it is a big ask. The German and Italian clubs in particular are very good and they will always do very well. And of course, we are inherently at a disadvantage against them because they have more places in European competitions than we do anyway, which is annoying, particularly when it comes to the Champions League, as Evie Cathdy Fothera scores the 2nd goal of the game. But before FM22 comes out, I really want to break into that top 3. I do think overtaking Spain and England is just a little far-fetched at the moment, particularly this late on in the Football Manager 21 life cycle. I think before FM22 comes out, we have a good chance to get ourselves into the top 3, probably just 3rd. And speaking of FM22, of course, if you do want to pre-order it, there is a link down in the description to Game. I've got an affiliate link with them. If you want to download it from there, would massively appreciate it. Also, I didn't plan talking after I was talking about buying FM22, but Evie Cathdy Fothera scores another goal as I take a breather. Maybe one day I'll learn to pause the game when I want to take a breather, or do substitutes actually. That's another thing I should probably pause the game for when I do substitutes, but old habits die hard. For our backup players though, it's been a very good performance. I'm looking for players like Tigger McLumper, and I'm looking for players like Brian Medina, and maybe even Stone St John actually. Well, I guess maybe not so much Stone St John, but Medina and Tigger McLumper, they're the players that I'm expecting this season to really challenge for those first team spots. Ishmael, though, the new signing, has been very quiet in this game. We've not seen anything from him. I just can't say his surname. It just looks like a jumble of letters to me that doesn't quite make sense. But Ishmael got the ball into the middle nicely, and he's fitting into the team well, actually. He does seem to be just inherently more attacking than Mark Van Steen was, which is kind of what we want to see, actually. Maybe not so much in the Champions League. Maybe that's when we maybe play someone else instead. But he has been very good as Evie Cathdy Fothera finishes off a hat-trick today. Excellent work, very happy with that. Lassielian with an injury to himself there, but he's got an 8.1 rating, played phenomenally well today, obviously trying to get back into the first team. But Jens Neve is just too good as Vangelis Alexandris, the amazing Greek named player, scores the 5th goal of the game. This is just too easy now. Reyes Sousa with a good throw, and it actually bounces all the way through. No one else gets a touch on that. It's literally an assist for Reyes there. And so that is a fantastic game for us. You love to see it. And now we're going to round off today's episode because I have got to get down to St Bank to do some commentary, which I'm really excited about. I mean, that literally would not be possible without you guys. I would not have those skills for commentary if I didn't do this, and I wouldn't still be doing this if you guys never watch my videos. The fact you guys watch my videos is the main motivator to me to keep doing this and to build those skills. And if I hadn't built those skills, then I wouldn't be doing commentary for Lincoln City. So this is all it's directly because of you, so thank you. Anyway, thank you very much as well for watching today's episode. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. And of course, if you have done, make sure you do drop a like on the video for me and subscribe to the channel if you're new around here. I will see you tomorrow for a bit of a longer episode, fingers crossed, and hopefully no processing issues. We'll cross our fingers for that. But until then, have a lovely evening. I'll see you soon. Goodbye.